10 Stoic principles so that nothing can affect you. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. In a world that constantly pulls us in every direction, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, reactive, and emotionally exhausted. But what if you could stand in the eye of the storm, calm, grounded, and untouched by chaos? In today's video on Stoic science, we're exploring 10 Stoic principles that can help you build that kind of inner fortress so that nothing, not people, not problems, not even your own fears, can shake your peace. These teachings aren't just ancient words. They're tools for a resilient, purpose-driven life. Which Stoic principle do you try to live by? Share it in the comments, and let's grow together. 1. Have a firm purpose. In a world that demands more of us every day, where deadlines pile up, expectations pull in every direction, and silent battles are fought behind the calm mask of responsibility, there is a philosophy that has stood the test of time. It does not offer empty promises or fleeting motivation. It offers armor. Stoicism is not about being cold or detached. It's about being grounded, focused, and unshakably present. And if there is one truth every Stoic understands, it's this: a man without purpose is a man pulled by the current of everything and anchored by nothing. Without a firm inner purpose, the noise of the world becomes deafening, and small problems feel like mountains. But when you define that inner compass, when you know what truly matters to you, you begin to see chaos for what it is: a distraction. Your purpose becomes both your lighthouse and your anchor, guiding your steps and keeping you steady when the winds rise. With purpose, you don't just survive the storm, you navigate it. In the practice of Stoicism, strength isn't measured by physical dominance or loud declarations. It's measured by your ability to choose your response when everything around you tempts you to react. A Stoic man is not immune to emotion. He simply refuses to be ruled by it. When anger knocks on his door, he answers with composure. When fear whispers in his ear, he listens but does not obey. This is not suppression, it is mastery. And mastery, in the Stoic tradition, begins with knowing what is within your control and releasing what is not. You do not waste energy trying to control outcomes, people, or even perception. You focus on your own actions, your own discipline, and your own attitude. In modern life, this is more relevant than ever. At work, when politics swirl and tensions rise, you remain calm because your identity isn't built on approval, it's built on virtue. In relationships, when disagreements arise, you do not seek to win arguments. You seek to understand, to grow, and to maintain your dignity. A Stoic man carries himself with quiet power, not because he seeks to impress, but because he has nothing to prove. He knows that true power lies in restraint, not reaction. There's another principle deeply woven into the Stoic path. Accept fate, but never be passive. The Stoics called it amor fati, the love of fate. It doesn't mean surrendering to misfortune. It means embracing reality, using every experience, good or bad, as fuel for becoming stronger, wiser, and more complete. When plans fall through or life deals you a blow, you don't curse the heavens. You say, "Good. This too has a purpose." You bend with life, but you do not break. You learn to see adversity as a teacher, pain as a sculptor, and time as a forge. And through all of this, the Stoic man trains his mind like a warrior trains his body. He questions his impulses. He reflects before he acts. He practices silence not as avoidance, but his presence. He cultivates stillness in a world addicted to noise. In this stillness, he finds clarity. And from that clarity comes peace. Not the peace of having no problems, but the peace of knowing you will meet whatever comes with strength and principle. To walk the path of Stoicism is to choose a different kind of success. Not flashy, not loud, but enduring. It's the kind of success that cannot be taken away by market crashes, relationship failures, or public opinion. It's the success of becoming a man who respects himself deeply, who builds a life aligned with his values, and who meets life not as a victim, but as a disciplined, awake, and powerful presence. So as you return to your daily life with its responsibilities, its family, its work, its battles, remember this: your power lies in the choices you make when no one is looking, in the way you talk to yourself when you fall, in the way you get back up with calm, quiet purpose. This is what it means to live as a Stoic, not untouched by life, but unmoved by it. Stand firm, be steadfast, and let your life be a mirror of principles that no storm can shake. Express your determination by commenting below, "I choose steadfast." 2. Master your emotions and reactions. In a world that constantly tests your patience, your values, and your peace of mind, there is one power that can never be taken from you: your ability to master your emotional response. This is at the very heart of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that while we may not have control over external events, we have complete authority over our internal world, our thoughts, our judgments, and our reactions. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And in that simple yet profound truth lies a key that can unlock peace amid chaos. When something goes wrong, when a colleague lashes out unfairly, when plans fall through, or when life seems to hit you all at once, the initial emotional surge can feel overpowering. But Stoic philosophy teaches us that it's not the event itself that disturbs us, but our interpretation of it. Emotional mastery is not about suppression or cold detachment. It is about conscious response. It's about choosing calm over chaos, awareness over reactivity, and wisdom over impulse. Take, for example, the story of Jordan, a manager at a high-pressure tech startup. He was once quick-tempered and reactive, especially under stress. During a major product launch, a junior employee made a costly mistake. The old Jordan would have exploded, creating a scene and leaving morale shattered. But having studied Stoic philosophy for over a year, he took a deep breath, paused, and responded with clarity instead of anger. He saw the mistake not as sabotage, but as a moment to lead with grace. His team noticed the change, and what could have been a meltdown turned into a powerful leadership lesson. This is what emotional mastery looks like in real life. Not a dramatic transformation overnight, but a series of conscious choices made in the heat of the moment. So the question becomes, how would your life change if, in your next emotionally charged situation, you simply paused and responded instead of reacting? Emotional mastery, as taught by the Stoics, is like training a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger you become. It's about developing the inner discipline to observe your emotions without letting them dictate your behavior. It's noticing when anger bubbles up and choosing not to act on it until clarity returns. It's feeling disappointment, but not letting it define your day. It's acknowledging fear without letting it control your decisions. This type of mental strength doesn't make you emotionless. It makes you emotionally wise. The difference is profound. A Stoic doesn't pretend problems don't exist. A Stoic simply doesn't allow problems to govern the soul. Finally, one of the greatest lessons of Stoic philosophy is this: you don't have to be a slave to your emotions. Your mind is not a wild beast to be tamed by force, but a powerful tool to be trained by intention. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean never feeling angry, sad, or afraid. It means recognizing those emotions, honoring them, and then choosing how you respond. This is the true power of character. It's what builds trust in yourself and earns the respect of others. So the next time life hits you, remember that you are not a puppet dragged along by circumstances. You are a sovereign being. And in that moment of pause, in that breath between stimulus and response, you are free. That freedom is where true power lies. Comment below, I am free. 3. Guard your mind from negative influences. What you allow into your mind is just as important as what you allow into your home. A Stoic mindset begins with understanding that your inner world is shaped by what you mentally consume, day in and day out. Just as you wouldn't welcome someone into your house carrying bags of garbage, you must be equally protective of the mental and emotional energy you invite into your space. Toxic people, constant negativity, mindless entertainment, or even your own patterns of self-doubt can quietly seep into your consciousness and begin to poison your peace. If left unchecked, these influences rob you of clarity, strength, and serenity, keeping you in a cycle of emotional reaction rather than conscious response. The ancient Stoics taught that guarding your mind is not a passive task, but an act of discipline and self-respect. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." When you commit to cultivating a daily Stoic practice, you become more mindful of what you allow in, not just through words or images, but through the energy and intentions behind them. That means you may have to say no to gossip, even if everyone else is entertained by it. Turn off the news when it no longer informs, but overwhelms. Or take a step back from people whose presence leaves you drained instead of uplifted. Boundaries are not about building walls, but about preserving the integrity of your inner temple. A Stoic mindset doesn't suggest you detach from the world entirely, but rather that you engage with it intentionally. Ask yourself, does this thought, this conversation, this media I'm absorbing, help me become a wiser, calmer, stronger version of myself? Or does it leave me scattered, anxious, or resentful? The power to decide lies within you. You are not helpless in the face of negativity. You are the gatekeeper. And every time you choose peace over chaos, intention over impulse, you are strengthening that inner muscle of resilience. Imagine starting each day as if you are preparing your mind like sacred ground, planting thoughts that lead to growth, watering them with stillness, pruning away what no longer serves. That is the daily Stoic way. And over time, you begin to notice that not only are you less affected by life's noise, but you begin to radiate a calm that others can't help but be drawn to. The strength you once looked for in the outside world, you now carry within. So let me ask you this: what are you allowing into your mind today? And is it helping you build the life you truly want? Drop your thoughts in the comments I'd love to hear how this has shaped your journey. 4. Handle criticism with grace and self-knowledge. In a world where men are expected to lead, provide, and remain composed under pressure, there's a quiet power that often goes unnoticed, one that doesn't shout but stands firm in the face of conflict. That power is Stoicism. In today's message, we're going to explore one of the most essential Stoic principles for modern men: the art of handling criticism with grace and self-knowledge. If you've ever felt shaken by someone's opinion of you, be it in your workplace, your relationship, or even among friends, this teaching holds the key to unshakable strength. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once said, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment of it. And it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now." What he meant is simple. No insult, no criticism, no attack can hurt you unless you grant it access to your self-worth. And that is where your power lies. Criticism is inevitable. You could be doing your best, acting with integrity, and still face judgment. That's life. But a Stoic man doesn't crumble under the weight of someone's words. He reflects. He filters. He responds not from emotion, but from self-knowledge. When someone critiques you, the immediate reaction might be defensiveness. That's ego speaking. But Stoicism teaches you to step back and observe instead of react. Ask yourself, is there any truth in what they said? If there is, you grow. If there isn't, you let it go. The Stoic mindset does not resist criticism. It evaluates it. It doesn't fear judgment. It learns from it or disregards it entirely. You see, when your sense of self comes from within, outside opinions lose their grip. This inner stability is what separates a reactive man from a powerful one. In today's fast-paced world, where everyone seems to have an opinion and social media amplifies every voice, it's easy to lose yourself in the noise. But the Stoic man remains grounded. He understands that real strength is not found in proving others wrong. It's in knowing who you are so clearly that no attack can shake your foundation. Self-knowledge becomes your armor. Patience becomes your shield. And maturity becomes your sword. When someone criticizes you, especially unfairly, take a breath. Respond with calm. Thank them if it's constructive. Disregard them if it's toxic. This is not weakness. It's wisdom in motion. It's the practice of self-control, one of the cardinal virtues of Stoicism. As you move forward, whether you're navigating a high-pressure career, raising a family, or simply trying to become a better man, this Stoic principle becomes a daily tool. Let others speak. Let them judge. You stay focused on your own path. And if their words hold a mirror, use it. If they throw stones, walk past them. Because the man who truly knows himself cannot be shaken by what others think of him. So, I ask you now, the next time you're criticized, will you react or will you rise? Let the Stoic mindset guide your answer. If this resonates with you, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. Your journey to Stoic self-mastery and victory continues with each lesson. 5. Transform offense into opportunity. You've likely been there before someone says something thoughtless, maybe even cruel. Maybe it's a colleague who takes credit for your work, a friend who betrays your trust, or a stranger who throws a cutting remark your way. Your first instinct? A surge of anger, maybe embarrassment, maybe the sting of injustice. But here's the thing, according to Stoic philosophy, the offense isn't in the act itself. It's in your interpretation of it. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic master, once wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." That simple insight contains a kind of superpower, the ability to control your response and reclaim your inner peace in the face of provocation. Let me tell you a short story. A man I knew, let's call him James, worked for years to earn a leadership role in his company. One day, during a heated meeting, his new supervisor humiliated him in front of the team, criticizing his decisions and undermining his judgment. James could have erupted. He could have let that moment define him, chip away at his confidence, or spiral into resentment. But instead, he stepped back. He remembered a lesson from Stoic philosophy. You always have a choice in how you respond. Rather than react with anger, he reframed that moment as a test of character, patience, and restraint. Later that week, he calmly addressed the issue in private, clarified misunderstandings, and strengthened his professional boundaries. And guess what? He gained more respect, not less. He turned the offense into an opportunity. That's the power of perception. The Stoics believed that pain, insult, and misfortune are not inherently harmful. It is our attachment to how things should be that makes them hurt. When we cling to expectations of fairness or validation, we give others power over our emotional state. But if you can shift your focus from, "Why did they do this to me?" to, "What is this teaching me about myself?" you step into real mastery. Offense becomes fuel. Pain becomes practice. And moments of disrespect become gateways to self-respect. It's not about becoming passive. It's about becoming impenetrable, not through arrogance, but through clarity and emotional sovereignty. So the next time someone offends you, ask yourself, is this worth carrying? Is this teaching me how to set firmer boundaries, how to let go of ego, or how to deepen my compassion for others who are clearly operating from pain of their own? What if this moment, instead of weakening you, is actually sculpting you into someone stronger, wiser, and more anchored? As the Stoics saw it, every insult is a mirror, and every hurt is a chance to rise above your lower instincts. You are not obligated to play the role of the wounded. You can choose the role of the wise. In the end, the true lesson of Stoic philosophy isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about transmuting it. It's about knowing that emotional resilience isn't built by avoiding conflict, but by transforming how you engage with it. The world will never stop offering you moments of insult, betrayal, or misunderstanding. But what if you saw every one of them as an invitation to elevate? What if you could turn pain into practice and offense into opportunity, not for the sake of others, but for the quiet strength of your own soul? So I'll leave you with this question. What would your life look like if you no longer took things personally? How much lighter would your heart feel? How much clearer would your mind become? And how powerful could you be if nothing could shake you? Because you've trained your spirit to see offense not as a threat, but as a teacher? That is the heart of Stoic philosophy. If you are ready for the journey of change, please comment, "I am a Stoic." 6. Overcome fear and shame by changing your interpretation. When you start to understand that fear and shame don't come from the world itself, but from the way your mind interprets it, something powerful begins to shift within you. A Stoic mindset teaches us that our suffering often doesn't come from the events of life, but from the story we tell ourselves about those events. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Fear is rarely about what's happening now. It's about what might happen. And shame is often tied to memories we've locked ourselves into, as if one moment of failure defines a lifetime. But what if you could see every painful emotion as an invitation to grow? What if every time your heart tightened with fear, it was actually calling you to examine your beliefs instead of your circumstances? When you feel shame, it's often because you've judged yourself harshly, forgetting that you are a work in progress, not a finished product. A daily Stoic practice invites you to pause in these moments and ask yourself, is this fear based on truth or on assumption? Am I holding on to this shame because I think it makes me more worthy or more humble? Or am I just afraid to let go of an old version of myself? The moment you begin to question the narrative, you begin to break free from it. Instead of letting your past mistakes define you, forgive yourself not because you deserve to escape responsibility, but because self-compassion allows you to rise and try again with wisdom. Think of it this way: your fear is not a monster, it's a message, and your shame is not a chain, it's a checkpoint. You can learn to decode these feelings by leaning into them with clarity, not avoidance. This is what the Stoic mindset is all about: not repressing emotion, but transforming it. To live by the daily Stoic is not to suppress your human experience, but to discipline your perception of it. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And it's true, most of what we fear never comes to pass, and most of what we regret is no longer happening. So why do we let ghosts of the past and shadows of the future dictate the joy of our present? Ask yourself honestly, what fear or shame are you still carrying that is no longer yours to hold? And how would your life change if you reinterpreted that weight as a lesson, not a limitation? In the end, the power to overcome fear and shame lies not in eliminating them, but in transforming how you see them. That's the essence of the Stoic mindset: reclaiming your power from the stories that once controlled you, and choosing to walk forward with wisdom, strength, and peace. Did you find this helpful? If yes, please comment yes. If not, please comment no. If not often, please comment sometimes. 7. Anticipate obstacles. Premeditation malorum. In a world that constantly shifts beneath our feet, men who lead, protect, and provide must learn to anchor themselves in something unshakable. That something is Stoicism. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the weight of responsibility, the unpredictability of life, or the pressure to always stay composed, then this principle is for you. Premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, is a foundational Stoic practice that teaches you to anticipate obstacles not with fear, but with clarity and strength. Instead of blindly hoping everything goes smoothly, the Stoic mindset trains you to look trouble in the eye before it even arrives. This isn't pessimism, it's mental armor. When you take a moment each day to visualize the possible difficulties ahead, whether it's a hard conversation, financial setback, or health scare, you begin to strip those scenarios of their emotional power. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action, What stands in the way becomes the way. When you accept that life will throw curveballs, you free yourself from being controlled by surprise or frustration. This doesn't mean you expect the worst at every turn. It means you prepare your soul to meet the storm with a steady hand and an unshaken heart. In modern life, this looks like walking into your day already mentally rehearsed for traffic delays, rude clients, unexpected bills, or moments of failure, and calmly choosing how you'll respond. You're not reacting from panic or ego, but from principle. This gives you the psychological edge most men never develop. While others get blindsided and spiral, you remain rooted. You've already been there in your mind, and you've rehearsed your values. This practice is especially powerful for men balancing careers, fatherhood, relationships, and leadership. Life is going to test you. It's not a question of if, but when. The Stoic does not wait to be tested unprepared. He trains his mindset like a warrior sharpens his blade. Premeditatio. Malorum builds more than resilience. It builds wisdom. You learn to separate what's truly in your control from what is not. You stop wasting energy on blame and instead redirect it toward a meaningful response. This shift transforms everyday irritation into inner discipline. When something does go wrong, and it will, you don't break. You breathe. You remember you trained for this. You act, not out of fear, but out of clarity. That is the essence of Stoicism. Ask yourself, how often do you start your day hoping for comfort instead of preparing for strength? What would change in your life if you met obstacles like a Stoic, already grounded in your response, already in control of your mind? This principle isn't just ancient wisdom. It's a tool for modern mastery. Men who embody Stoic resilience aren't just harder to shake, they become anchors for others. In a chaotic world, that's not just valuable, it's necessary. If this video has been enlightening to you, it would be an honor to us if you would like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, comment 1 if you've encountered similar situations in your life and how you overcame them. 8. Build inner strength through self-awareness and community. To build true inner strength through the lens of Stoic philosophy, you must first recognize that it is not about appearing tough or unshakable on the surface. It's about cultivating a calm, grounded presence rooted in deep self-awareness and aligned values. Inner strength begins when you take an honest inventory of your emotional landscape. What triggers you? What consistently disturbs your peace? These questions aren't meant to shame or weaken you. They are tools for mastery. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The Stoic does not waste energy raging against the world, but turns inward to understand what is truly within their control. And what's in your control? Your judgments, your responses, your words, and your perspective. By practicing this kind of emotional clarity, you gradually take away the power from situations that once stirred fear, anger, or resentment. And yet, even as you grow inwardly resilient, the path of Stoic philosophy teaches that strength is not meant to isolate you. It is meant to help you engage more wisely with others. That's where community enters the equation. We all need others to sharpen us, to reflect us, and sometimes to hold us when we cannot hold ourselves. As the saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. But not just any company will do. You must choose your circle intentionally. People who embody values of clarity, honesty, emotional maturity, and growth. When you are surrounded by those who elevate rather than drain you, who challenge you rather than enable your vices, your inner strength flourishes. Vulnerability also plays a crucial role here. Many mistake vulnerability for weakness, but the Stoic understands it is a form of courage. To express truthfully what you feel, to admit when you're struggling, to open your heart in a world that often punishes softness, this is real strength. And one of the most transformative tools for staying grounded amid this journey is gratitude. Gratitude redirects your attention from what you lack to what already sustains you. In a modern world filled with comparison and constant striving, it's easy to forget that the simple things of health, friendship, meaningful work, and peace of mind are far more valuable than what society often glorifies. A powerful exercise you can try tonight. Reflect on one moment from your day when you chose patience over anger, understanding over judgment, or stillness over reaction. What did that feel like? That's the essence of Stoic philosophy, the quiet, daily triumphs that no one sees but you. So how would your life change if you began to see every trigger as a teacher, every failure as an opportunity to refine your emotions, and every interaction as a mirror of your inner world? That's the Stoic way, not to be rigid about life, but to approach it with your eyes wide open, your heart anchored, and your mind in control. The lesson here is simple but powerful. True power is cultivated through a commitment to self-awareness, wise friendships, open-hearted vulnerability, and a spirit of gratitude. If you practice these things, nothing on the outside can truly shake what's on the inside. Comment below. I'm determined to practice this. 9. Restrain your actions with reason and intention. When life tests your patience, whether you're stuck in traffic, facing criticism, or dealing with someone who just rubbed you the wrong way, it can be incredibly tempting to lash out, say something you'll regret, or let your emotions take the wheel. But the Stoic mindset urges you to take a breath, to slow down, and to reflect before you act. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That one line captures the core of what it means to live with reason and intention. You are not a puppet of emotion or a prisoner of circumstance. You are a thinker, a conscious being with the ability to choose your next move. And this choice is everything. Acting on impulse is like swinging a sword in the dark. It may feel powerful in the moment, but it often causes more harm than good, especially to yourself. When you adopt the daily Stoic practice of reflection before reaction, you begin to cultivate real inner strength. It's not about being passive or indifferent. It's about standing firmly in your values, staying calm when storms hit, and understanding that your reaction defines your reality far more than the event itself. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is why the Stoic mindset is so essential, not just in moments of great challenge, but in the small, everyday situations where our instincts might try to override our wisdom. Every time you pause instead of reacting impulsively, you are training your mind to serve your long-term goals rather than your temporary feelings. You're building discipline, which is the foundation of better relationships, career advancement, and personal peace. Think about the last time you let your emotions run the show. Did it really serve you? Or did it leave you with regret, anxiety, or even shame? Now imagine how different your life could be if, in those exact moments, you paused, took a breath, and chose intention over impulse. That is the quiet power of Stoicism. It gives you the tools to master yourself before attempting to master anything else. And in mastering yourself, you become untouchable by the chaos around you. This isn't just theory. It's a daily Stoic practice, a muscle that grows stronger with every decision you make mindfully. So I'll ask you, the next time someone cuts you off in traffic or says something that stings, will you act on instinct or will you respond with reason? Because in that moment, you're not just reacting, you're shaping who you are. And the version of you that acts with wisdom, patience, and clarity, that's the version who wins not just the argument, but the entire game of life. If this resonates with you, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. Your journey to Stoic self-mastery and victory continues with each lesson. 10. Live according to nature and universal principles. In a world where noise, pressure, and distractions constantly pull you in every direction, there's a timeless refuge that reminds you who you truly are, a refuge found in the philosophy of Stoicism. The great Stoic thinkers, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, didn't teach detachment for the sake of isolation. They taught us to return to the essentials, to realign with nature and the universal order that governs all things. When we speak of living according to nature, we're not just talking about trees or rivers. We're talking about aligning with the deeper, unchanging truths that reside within your core. Living in harmony with your true self means understanding that you are not merely your job title, your bank account, or your social status. You are a rational being capable of virtue, strength, and clarity. Stoicism invites you to strip away the artificial and return to the authentic. And this means embracing simplicity, not as deprivation, but as freedom. When you no longer chase what does not fulfill you, you create space for what actually does. Peace, integrity, and purpose. Simplicity is not weakness. It is a profound strength in a culture that equates complexity with importance. By simplifying your life, you reconnect with what truly matters, your values, your relationships, and your inner compass. You begin to see that true success isn't found in external validation, but in living in accordance with what you know to be right. The Stoic life is not about suppressing emotion, but about mastering it. You accept the seasons of life growth, loss, love, betrayal without clinging or resistance. You understand, as the Stoics did, that all things come and go, and that nothing is fully within your control except your thoughts and your actions. That is where your power lies. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe, said Marcus Aurelius. That is the heart of this principle. When you honor your nature, when you act with virtue and gratitude, you are not only in alignment with yourself, but with the very fabric of the cosmos. This alignment creates a foundation that cannot be shaken by circumstance. When the world demands more, you respond with less noise and more substance. When others chase fleeting validation, you stay anchored in character. You begin to lead from within, not perform for the crowd. You understand that your life, no matter how ordinary or chaotic it seems, is part of a larger design. And by living stoically, by choosing virtue over ego, service over selfishness, and presence over distraction, you become part of something greater. In a time when modern life can feel like an endless sprint, embracing Stoicism allows you to move with intention. It helps you wake up and ask, am I living in alignment with what I claim to value? Am I honoring the man I know I can be? These are not just philosophical questions. They are invitations to live deeper, more grounded lives. In the end, to live according to nature is to live in such a way that no storm, no praise, no insult can knock you off center because your roots run deep, your values are clear, and your actions speak louder than the noise around you. And that is the kind of inner power no one can take away. What part of this message resonates with you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how this has shaped your journey. As we wrap up this journey through the 10 Stoic principles, remember that the key to unshakable peace isn't about controlling the chaos around you, but about mastering how you respond to it. From mindful breathing to purposeful action, each principle invites you to align with your true self and build a life rooted in clarity, strength, and inner freedom. If these teachings resonated with you, we invite you to share your favorite Stoic principle in the comments below. Let's learn from one another. And if you're ready to keep growing, don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Science and explore more timeless insights waiting for you. Stay strong, stay centered, and keep walking the path of wisdom.